Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of TheRiverBank. Today I got a special friend here, the one and only, the destroyer of bread, SgtDucky.
Hello, how's it going? How are we all doing out there?
Are we doing good? How about you, Mike?
Not too bad, got my sexy morning voice on. I think we both do.
Yeah, we both have that morning voice.
Yeah, just that's what we get for attacking the day so early, Grabbing life by the balls.
Yeah, early. Yeah. Only waking up at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, see, I was up all night grabbing life by the balls as well, you see, so bit of balance in my life is needed. I just can't stop grabbing balls.
Oh, no one can. It's hardwired to us males. We have to do it.
Yeah, you want to be careful out there. See a pair of balls, we'll be on them.
We'll be definitely on him instantly.
Yeah.
It's like mine. I want that.
Yeah,
Cannot go without
like
it.
a woman walking past the clothes shop, we just get diverted straight on him.
Yeah, we do. Well, I got a few questions that I'm gonna ask you specifically, and about most of the questions gonna be about how you came up to be a YouTuber, mostly what I'm interested on, and what will be your advice as someone older as well, because you're quite older than me, aren't you?
Thanks, lad.
Don't worry, old man.
just the confidence boost I needed there.
You're still young and sexy. That's the most important.
I'm certainly one of those things.
Yeah, so with the males as well, the older they get, the more handsome they get, I guess. In a way.
Or so you hope, anyway.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Because that really entropy could throw you any which way. That's still a roll of the dice.
Yeah. But when it comes to males, certainly you become more handsomer when age goes by. Because when I look at my younger pictures when I was younger, I was like, fuck, was that me? I look horrible. Delete that demon. Be gone, demon.
Yeah, for me it was like all the way up until maybe I was about 17, 18. I was like, fuck ugly. And then, kind of started looking way better in my 20s. And now that I'm in my early 30s, it's constantly wavering because I can't stop putting on weight and losing weight and putting on weight.
I guess that's the one thing when it comes to me is plus I don't gain weight. I only lose it.
Yeah, but you're still in your, the throes of 20s, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 21. Soon to be 22.
Yeah, that'll all go tits up around 26, 27 when your metabolism starts to slow down.
Oh, I fucking hope this slows slowing down because I kind of want to gain the weight. And I'm not gaining any weight at this moment. And when I think about it as well, it's because of the genes I have, because my uncles, they're fucking skinny as fuck. It's only pure muscle, no fat.
Yeah, well, you want me to feel sorry for you, do you?
Just a little bit.
Oh no, you don't have to do anything to stay in shape. Oh,
no,
your life must be so hard.
Yeah.
We'll start a charity for you, how's that?
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. Make Soren fat again.
Do a GoFundMe so I can eat more food.
Yeah.
Get more of those.
Yeah, it's tragic. His house is full of vegetables and fibre. We need to fix this problem.
I need more protein.
His sweet cupboard is a disaster. There's nothing in it.
Speaking of sweets, I have a fucking sweets right next to me. I got Persian pastry right next to me.
Persian pastry?
Yeah.
What's the definition of a Persian pastry over a regular pastry?
They taste better and they look better.
I feel like you break open the top and a snake starts coming out of it,
Yeah. The snake will dance. After you finish the pastry, you got a few free pet snake.
There's some poor fucking Persian there trying to eat his steak and kidney pie there, just pops the top and it just cobra comes out and latches onto his throat. So, nobody had warned me it was a Persian one.
Oh, that is the best Persian pastry for you. I know though, they're quite delicious and I dare to say a bit more healthy. Yeah, definitely more healthy because I used to work in the pastry shop for a summer, and it's not pretty much how they're made, and pretty much it's not that much sugar goes into it as much as people think. Yes, it's still a lot of fucking sugar. They put in 3 kilos of sugar, but not as much as like Western pastry, where they put fucking tons of fucking sugar in it.
You should try a Colombian pastry. Put in 3 kilos of cocaine in it.
Oh yeah. That'll get you skinny.
Yeah, and the thing about a Colombian pastry is it's very Moorish.
Definitely Moorish, that's for sure. Definitely. Now then, on to some questions I generally want to ask you is, I'm gonna start a bit way back. I kind of want to know more about how your early days in life was when you were in your younger areas. Specifically, I'm gonna keep it to your 1820s. What was your train of thought when you were like at 18? What's the one you want to be in the future? How did you want your future to be? Did you have any ideas of the future that you want to have?
Oh God, no! I really fucking struggled with that when I was 18. See, people think like once you leave school, you know immediately what you want to do for the rest of your life. Like, you know, and I remember when I was 18 to maybe about 22, 23-ish, roughly. I had no idea. And I remember like getting quite annoyed at myself because I'm like, it's you. You know you. Why don't you know what you want to do? It's like really fucking... Because the problem is that when you finish school and all that, like, and you've been dealing with career guidance counsellors, like the option they give you to do for the rest of your life are really shite in the grand scheme of things. So they'd be like, do you want to be a mechanic, an engineer, an archaeologist, a scientist? And you're all like, no, all that sounds incredibly shite. Like,
horrible.
Yeah, no, I want my 8-year-old dreams to come true. Or I want to be an astronaut. I want to drive a fire truck. You know, I want to make videos. That's essentially, I want to do the shit that 8-year-old me would approve of. Why is that never an option? No, but no, my early adult years, hadn't a clue. And I really struggled with that for years. But eventually I found somewhat of a calling when myself and a friend of mine, PJ, started getting into making short films. And I was like, now this is the kind of thing I can get behind. This is just strange and just a whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I can understand it. Yeah, because it has that childhood dream of being free and do whatever you want, pretty much.
Yeah, you kind of get browbeaten by the education system. It kind of knocks the higher end of your creativity away. Some would say it's called maturing. I'd say I call it a crying shame.
I think there was they did a study, a few college students did a study when they went to a kindergarten and asked the kid how to solve a problems. And they not only did it with the kindergarten, they did it with the high school as well. And the high school kids were like, "What the fuck is the point? We don't know the answer." But the kindergarten kids came with much more creative answers and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess in a way, when it comes to education system, it's just made in some places made to like kill your creativity and make you into pretty much a drone.
Yeah, well, with that kind of stuff, I'd chalk it down to partly because bad teachers. There's some really bad teachers out there that make subjects incredibly boring. But another part of it is as well, it's just being forced to do subjects that you've absolutely no interest in. So as a result, you kind of start to develop a perception that, you know, learning stuff isn't all that fun. And, you know, exploring new things isn't all that fun. So you kind of carry that with you into adulthood. But it's a shame because learning new stuff and pursuing strange things is actually a whole lot of fun, and you know, a lot of good can be got out of it.
Yeah, definitely, because I remember when you said bad teachers, I had a teacher, I'm not going to discuss too much information about him, but like he made us, when it's time for the exam, like the exam was going to define our future, he gave us questions that he did not teach us how to solve problems and stuff like that. And at that time I was going to mechanic school. So he gave us like, how do you fix this? And I'm like, we never fucking had this. How do you want me to do it? You never taught me the way to solve the problem, to fix the problem. What the fuck am I gonna do?
And was it just bad teaching, or was he actually just trying to like get you to think?
I think it was just bad teaching because everyone hated him. And we pretty much did a coup d'etat on his ass.
Fucking military coup there, yeah.
Another fun thing is he actually called the cops on one of my classmates because one of my classmates was so fucking pissed at him. He was like, you know how there's lifts where they pick up the whole fucking car? A classmate made a subtle joke of dropping the car on top of him when he is under.
And he got the cops called on him because a teenager made a dark joke. Oh god.
Yeah, pretty much on that. That teacher was. I think he's just one thing I want to can straightly think about it, it's just he did his job. Like, his job was to teach us some stuff, but at the end of the day, he had his degrees, he had all that shit, he could do whatever the fuck he want, and he didn't mostly care the fuck about us. And so yeah, it was like pretty much, yeah, fuck these kids, I don't care about them.
Yeah, like, so the teachers I'd call bad teachers, there's one particular that comes to mind, and it wasn't that she was a bad teacher, she just did not engage. So it was for Irish class. Now, Irish is already a subject, like the Irish language is already a subject I wasn't really too gone on when I was a teenager anyway. But we used to just arrive in her class, and when we arrived, her blackboard would be full. We used blackboards back then, we got miners long. We didn't have,
I remember that.
we didn't have the permanent markers and whiteboards and now they have nowadays, the Sharpies. No, we go in there, we come out of there with asthmatic coughs. Like, it's amazing any of us came out with our lives. But we go
the miners long.
yeah, that's it. We would have to go in with a canary in a cage and keep an eye on it throughout the class. But we'd go in there and she'd just have the blackboard full with like an entire story in Irish, and the entire class would be just us writing that down in a copybook. That would be it. So it was just, you would go in there and like, oh no, we're going to have to go into Miss Nevin here now, and she's just going to make us write like 5 pages of Irish and not speak to us at all through the entire class.
Oh man, you had some unfortunate fucking teachers. Although I did have one as well. Yeah, usually when I was younger, I had anger problem issues since I was like moved from a different country. I kept moving from Iran to Turkey at the age of 4, and then at the age of 11 moved from Turkey to Norway. So I had a bit of anger issues and stuff like that. So, and I had a teacher. She was a substitute teacher. I don't know. I don't remember what she said to me, but for some reason I was really fucking mad. Enough that I actually broke one of the doors.
Right.
And I almost went up and hit her as well, which is...
Oh, you just flipped your shit?
Yeah, I just flipped the fucking switch in my back of my brain. I don't know why. I don't remember the reason, which I'm just wondering, what the fuck did she do?
Yeah, it was probably what you call blind rage then, if you can't remember exactly what kicked it off.
Yeah.
My younger brother used to get that blind rage.
Yeah. Speaking of blind rage, oh fuck! Going back to time with the childhood dreams. My childhood dreams was actually become a police officer.
That's actually not a terrible one. Yeah, I've recently started watching. You know, these kind of like police cop shows, yeah, stuff like that. Is the ones in the UK, which would be kind of closer to the Irish policing system than like an American one. But looking at that, I'm just like, catching fuckheads stealing shit in the middle of the night sounds like a fucking great job.
Thrills, I was like adrenaline, this fun.
Yeah,
driving around in your car.
Only for like, I knew somebody who was like in the guards when I grew up, and they just told me about the sheer amount of paperwork. Just for anybody listening, the guards is the Irish police, but they said it's 90% paperwork and 10% actually going around and, you know, helping people.
Unless you're a patrol officer, though. I
want to be one of them cops that like has a horse for no good fucking reason. Like in 2023, I want to gallop after fucking youths on scooters.
Oh, you wanna ride Sean through the streets, eh?
Yeah, up in the back of Sean there. I'd go to work in a full suit of armour. I'd have a big jousting pole. That's how I'd knock him off stolen bikes.
Yeah. Horses are quite fast. Horses are cute, yeah. Sean will be a lovely chap to ride the...
He'd be good company, but I fear the public would be justified in, you know, laughing at the authorities on a fucking horse in 2023.
I don't know about Sean's mentality, if he'd be stable enough. So. So I had to put one in there.
I wish I had one to throw back at you, but I've genuinely used all my good horse puns in videos.
I know. Which is what I'm just recently thinking about.
Like, anytime I want to do a horse pun in a video, I have to think up of at least 2 more just to fit the characters.
Yeah.
It's fucking horrible.
But I started watching a show called The Rookie. And it's American, it's in LA, that's where it recorded. And it's about a 40-year-old man decides to become a police officer.
I think I've heard of that, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fucking good show, and I highly do recommend it to anyone that is thinking about watching a show involving police. And I do highly recommend it because it's actually quite true to the materials. It just shows a side of the cops that you don't usually get to see.
Is there a load of TNA in it, is there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crook,
But it's a good job. But there's a
crooked
lot.
cops.
Yeah, there's a.
You're a wild card,
Some?
Johnson, but I'm glad you're in our dick. You know, all the police detective fucking limbo.
Yeah. There's a bit of corruption in there, but there's a lot of action in there as well, because it is about a 40-year-old man who decides to become a police officer and becomes a rookie, and then he start patrolling and start to learn everything as well, though, which is quite interesting. Yeah. Another thing, I had a train of thought that I lost for a second there. Fuck. God damn it. Don't you hate it when you have something in your mind and you want to say it, but you suddenly fucking lose it?
That's literally how I live my life, lad. I'm just in a perpetual state of just getting sidetracked and just moving on with my distraction.
Oh, yeah, shit, I was, here, I just remembered the thing about distraction and, losing, train of thoughts. The Witcher series, I was saying, when the cop movie was following quite close to the source. Have you seen The Witcher?
Yeah, I thought the first season was pretty decent. I didn't hate second season, not as strong, but still enjoyed it. And then I found out Henry Cavill left, and I'm like, oh fuck that, I'm not going near it again.
Yeah, pretty much same for me as well. Henry Cavill left, I'm like, fuck that, I'm not going near it, because... And what later on I found out is they were not following the source.
Yeah, well that's it, like, yeah, you don't have to dig too long into why he left to realise that him and the showrunners were constantly butting heads because he wants to keep it...
Yeah.
Because he's a big fucking gamer and loves the books and the games, so he was trying to stick as well he should be. Like, I don't know how many... like Netflix and fucking all these other production companies, I don't know how long it's going to take them to learn that if they want to make an adaptation of a game or a book, if they just stay faithful to the source material, it will succeed.
Yeah, speaking of The Last of Us one,
I haven't watched it, but here's the thing, I haven't actually played The Last of Us games, and I keep meaning to, like, because I didn't have a PlayStation when they came out first, and then like they were only later ported to PC, so I'm like, they're on my to-do list, but yeah. But I hear good things.
I watched the gameplay video of The Last of Us 1, and then a few months ago I started watching it again, like the gameplay videos and stuff, and then the fucking Last of Us game came out of fucking nowhere. It hit me straight in the jaw. And I was just starting the first episode, let's see how I was gonna go. And I was fucking surprised by it, because when you have seen the Last of Us gameplay, the first 10 minutes is a fucking tearjerker as fuck. The first.
Yeah, see, I've somehow managed all these years to avoid spoilers from The Last of Us, or maybe I haven't, and just went out of my way to not. You know when somebody like gives you a spoiler in passing, and you're like, okay, don't store that in memory. Just try to tell yourself, okay, listen, brain, just drag that into the recycling bin. I don't need that. That, you know, not knowing that is going to benefit me in the future. But Pedro Pascal, isn't it? That's there, isn't it?
Yeah, Pedro Pascal does a lovely job as Joel. Amazing. And they stick to the fucking materials. They stick to the books. They stick to the stories. Just came out amazing. Which is why if you go to like Twitter and just say type up Last of Us and the show, people will actually sing his praises. That's the first time somebody did the right thing by following the book of a game. And they actually do it right, which is quite surprising at the moment.
Yeah, obviously that's what I heard, but like I know it's like, because I know you don't actually have to play the games to enjoy the show, but I'm just like, okay, I'm going to wait until the show finishes, just because I'm a binger, you know. I'd sooner just sit there and watch the whole lot in one go. But I'll probably do that. But it's just nice to see Pedro Pascal actually in a good role again, then, if that's the case, because after... You know, because he's a really good actor. I seen him in, I think it was Frontier, was another good one. That was Ben Affleck. That was, like, he was really good in that. And obviously Game of Thrones, he was very good until they later ruined the series.
The Mandalorian as well.
Yeah, but then he was in fucking that Wonder Woman 1984, and it was just, he was wasted in it.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, he was really shite. So it's nice to see that he's back again.
Yeah, it's nice, because he is first off, he's a lovely chap. He's a fucking handsome guy.
Oh, you should hear some of the behind the scenes talk on like Game of Thrones about him just fucking jumping into the ocean after a take, like just going for a swim and stuff. Bit of a nutcase. Like.
Yeah, he's a lovely chap. We'll love to meet him in real life.
Here's a question: if you could go on the piss with any celebrity, who would it be?
Ooh. Well, Chris Hemsworth is one of them.
Yeah, wouldn't be too bad.
Henry Cavill.
I feel like Chris Hemsworth would be too conscious about what he's eating and drinking, you know, because he's always in shape.
Yeah, I kind of doubt that, but wish I was found out. But Chris Hemsworth, Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
come on. Obviously,
You would
that's
just
an
spend the whole
obvious
night
choice.
talking about games.
Yeah, it'll be a lovely conversation with him. Is you just lose the time at that point. The time will just
It's
fly
actually
by.
really funny with Henry Cavill, like when he's getting interviewed for like talk shows and stuff like that, and they ask him about his interest in games. He like immediately nerds out and starts talking about the game, and you can see the host going, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And like
Yeah.
all of us, like millennials and stuff like that, are watching, going, "Yeah, he's making perfect sense." But anybody over the age of 40 is just like, "Huh? What the fuck is? What is he? A child?"
No, he's a man of culture.
Yeah. We've moved on from fucking Pong.
Yeah, but and I guess that the third one is kind of in between Pedro Pascal and Jason Momoa, to be honest.
Yeah, see, my pick was going to be Jason Momoa just because he's already a big fucking drinker and loves the session and stuff. And do you see the amount of,
I
like,
guess I'd go with Jason Momoa.
yeah, do you see the amount of photos of him online as well where he's not in shape, where he's got like a beer belly and stuff? I'm like, that's the belly of a man that occasionally has a session and enjoys himself, like.
Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah, I can get on board with
He's
that.
not a dude.
Yeah, he's
that's
like,
a man.
I'm just in shape for my movies and I don't need to be outside that, so I'm just going to enjoy myself and eat cake and drink beer.
Speaking of, you kind of jumped in one of the questions I was gonna have. That was that question I had is if you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would that be and why?
3 people dead or alive.
Dead or alive?
I can assume they'll be brought back to life. I won't be just sitting there with a corpse.
Yeah, of course.
Because that could get really awkward.
Yeah, just in the restaurant with a fucking casket.
Yeah. So he said Kurt Cobain.
Would you
Quick,
like
dig
some
him
wine?
up. Probably Jason Momoa anyway for the crack.
Yeah.
I'd love to hang out with Bo Burnham for a few hours just to see how his fucking brain worked.
Oh, Bob Burnham's brain. Yeah, that's a fucking.
Maybe get some tips on making music. If I could like expand my comedy career into the genre of music, I could have a lot of fun with that. It's just the problem is I don't have any. I can't sing, and I can't make music really well. So I feel like you kind of need those.
Yeah, now we're in the same boat then on that one. I can't sing as well. For the love of my god.
Maybe that'll be the comedy. Just me attempting to sing.
Yeah. You need help with that? You need a duo for it? I can be there right for you.
And
you remember when we had a karaoke night? Oh, how horrible that was.
oh god, yeah, no.
Oh.
See, I'm not really good at expressing myself in general. That's why I'm crap at singing, because I just don't sing in my downtime. I sing when I'm like moderately drunk and there's a good song on and I'm on my own.
And when you're in the shower, don't forget that.
No, I don't sing in the shower.
You don't sing in the shower?
No, showers where I come up with fantastic ideas, so I have no time to sing.
Oh, you have a notepad with you in the shower in case you come in with a good idea.
When you're a content creator, there's 2 places that are your kingdom for creative ideas, and that's in the shower and while you're having a shit. You don't believe it. Some of the greatest videos online were thought up about when that person was naked, or at least their genitals were exposed in some way. Something just frees the mind. When you get your cock out.
Yeah. That fresh breeze of air.
It is, yeah. I think it's the fresh breeze of thought. It's the cold cut of inspiration across your balls.
Yeah. Which why kind of cold showers are good.
Who would go for me third? So I have the intellectual, I have the crack, so I need something. Fuck it, I'd have to sex it up, wouldn't I? Some good looking one I could just stare at. Who do you think is the most attractive male celebrity?
That's...
Like, once upon a time it was like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, it was Ryan Gosling. David Beckham? David Beckham?
Jesus, that's very 2003 of you.
Yeah, but it just, for me, it's because he has the tattoos and all that stuff, so yeah.
Do you know who I'd go? Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam.
I'll go.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'd go with Charlie Hunnam, right? And he seems like a reasonable man. So what I'd do is I'd have dinner with him and I'd convince him to have sex with me. And after, I think he'd go for it because my excuse, my reasoning for it would be the fact that my missus fancies the shit out of him, and it would absolutely kill her to know that I had been fucked by Charlie Hunnam and she hadn't.
Oh yeah, I think Charlie Hunnam is good.
Yeah, he's a reasonable man. I think he'd get on board with that. If it's for spite and for a laugh, I think he'd do it.
I think he played in Triple Frontier and King Arthur.
Yeah.
And of course the Sons of Anarchy.
Or my personal favourite movie of his nowadays, The Gentleman. It's really good in that.
Oh, yeah. I need to fucking watch The Gentleman. I don't think I have watched it.
Oh, fuck it. It's fucking written so well. It's one of these movies that would, like, kind of flew under the radar when it came out. And I watched it and I was like, how the fuck are not more people talking about this movie? It's actually fucking fantastic.
I need to watch it. I haven't watched it. I haven't seen any clips of it, so I'm gonna go in full blind on
Oh, I
that.
do, yeah. So it's definitely worth it. I think they're planning on making a series out of that now as well.
Oh.
It's like Guy Ritchie film as far as I know, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. So
Didn't it have Leonardo DiCaprio in there as well? The
Gentleman, no, Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam. What's that other fucking Hugh Grant? Hugh Grant is really good in it as well. Those would be the biggest names in it.
Yeah. For my 3 is obviously Jason Momoa is there, so you said as well. But I'm gonna have to trade Bo Burnham for Henry Cavill. And then for my 3rd one, I think I'm gonna go with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
You just want to be shouted at, do you?
yeah, I want to be fucking shouted at. Shout at me!
He's just roaring at you saying,
actually,
how fucking hard is it to finish a drink?
No. Actually, no, not Christian Bale. John Burnett. Punisher.
John Bernthal, yeah.
Yeah, John Bernthal. I'll go with him.
I'll go with him just to listen to his voice. That man has like a really...
that has a sexy voice.
He does. He's real, like a timbre to his voice or something. Just a really nice low... Yeah. Like, and I have a reasonably deep voice at the best of times as well, and even I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'd nearly convert for it, you know?
When it comes to yeah. There are some celebrities that are there, like, I have to double think to myself and just say, okay, I need to remember, I'm straight. There are just some of those.
See, I don't. I'd be tempted to invite, like, a female celebrity along in hopes that something happened, but I think I'd get more value out of inviting a male celebrity to have sex with just to piss my missus off.
Yeah.
I think that's worth more to me than a one night stand.
Definitely worth more, just to piss off the woman.
Yeah. That's what long term relationships are all about. Just pissing each other off as best you can in the least kind of blowbacky way, you know.
Yeah. The best way to do it. Right.
I'd be coming back there, but like, I ended up getting fucked by Charlie Hunnam, and she'd be like, what the fucking about it? Listen, he came on to me. I didn't ask for it. Like, he couldn't take his eyes off me.
Yeah, don't forget a selfie though. Don't forget that selfie. You have to have proof.
Yeah, just him behind there, just fucking driving it into me, and I'm just there with a big smile and a thumbs up into the camera.
Yeah. And then you just send it to your missus and like, look who's fucking me.
Yeah, something cringy like #blessed.
#gaped, to be honest.
#farts have no sound for the next 3 days.
Fuck that. #can walk both sides of the street. Let's go back to a bit younger of your younger times. What was the best compliment you ever received that someone gave you?
I don't know. See, as a man, you tend to hold on to all the compliments you get because you maybe get you have an allowance of 5 throughout your whole life. So, I remember one of the earliest compliments I got from a stranger. It's a group of girls that was like in a shop years ago, and I was looking at like skateboard magazines because that's what I did when I was a teenager.
Not that time.
This was like my awkward puberty stage, you know, and I was incredibly shy, and just like these girls came in and they see me standing there, and just like honestly, in hindsight, they were kind of bullying me, but they just all kind of surrounded me, and they were like pseudo flirting with me, trying to get a rise out of me and stuff like that. And I said something to him, and then they all just like looked at me in pure shock, like, "Oh my god, his voice is so deep. It's really nice." And you know, I know they were kind of pseudo bullying me, but I really enjoyed that compliment. That stuck with me.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's all small, but I think like my next compliment after that was like when I was about 21, 22. A girl told me I had striking looking eyes, which I'm kind of like, now that I'm thinking of, I'm like, what about the rest of me? But at the time, I was just like, oh, I have a nice feature.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got nice eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing you got blue eyes, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
that
we're getting
Ducky
close
character.
We're getting close to putting together Ducky's face, because we got the neck picture, a left cheek, right cheek, and then left ear and an eye. I think if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
you got some weird fucking Easter Island fucking mosaic of me there. Yeah.
Yeah. Soon we will have everything to put together.
Yeah, yeah. Like eventually,
face.
you're just gonna fucking. I'll come out looking like fucking Ed and Ed and Eddie or something.
Soon we will know. Yeah, I can't remember any compliment though in my life. I don't think I've gotten that many. Can't remember that much. Oh, I do remember actually one. There's one that I remember is because it was a teacher that gave it to me, and when I was younger, it was I think it was like somewhere 8th grade, 7th grade, somewhere like that.
Mm.
And it was an English teacher, and we were speaking, and I have a loud voice, and when I speak English, I'm quite loud, and the teacher liked that and complimented me on that. So that's something that's been stuck with me for a while. I have a loud and confident voice.
Oh. Thank God they said confident, because just loud wouldn't necessarily be a compliment.
Yeah.
Maybe they were hard of hearing and they just appreciated the extra volume.
No, yeah, because if I remember correctly, it was like the teacher was asking a question and nobody else was answering other than me that'd been there for like 2 days. So I was answering the questions.
Mm.
So that was the one.
Oh, very good. Yeah, see, they just stick with men, compliments. I feel like the third compliment I got was from a girl there, and she was just absolutely stunned at the precision of my testicles. She said they were perfectly spherical. And I was just like,
perfect.
Yeah,
balls.
The best balls in Ireland was the compliment I got given, yeah.
Yeah, they put it in the magazine as well and all that.
Yeah, it's like when you texting girls back in the day and they're like, how big is your dick? And you're like, listen, never mind the dick for a second. Hold on, I'll tell you about these.
It was in the Best Balls magazine of the 2008.
Yeah, do you know that Rick and Morty episode where like Rick makes a perfectly level floor and Morty can't handle it? That's what it's like when girls grab me by the sack. They just can't. They can't just get their head around how perfectly spherical they are.
Yeah, they put it out on their face, kiss it.
Yeah, and they're absolutely symmetrical as well. And one doesn't drop any lower than the other. They're perfectly level.
Perfect. The perfects are the balls.
Yeah, and when they expand and contract, they never drop further than my actual penis. So I never have to feel self-conscious about having longer balls than a cock. It doesn't matter how hot the day gets,
Oh, this episode is already demonetized in the future.
Yeah, well, you knew what you're doing by getting me on here.
Oh yeah, I know. I definitely know that. Fucking hell.
Do you know only about 5% of my own podcasts are actually monetized on YouTube? Every time I try to get a review of them, it's just like, no. And it's like, why?
Nah.
It's like, because you're Irish and you say fuck 2,500 times throughout in the 45 minutes you were recording. I'm like, yeah, but come on, that's got to be like, discriminatory.
Yeah, that's your discrimination.
Yeah. So it's like I'm speaking a foreign language. This isn't my native tongue. I should get some leeway here in how many times. Like I'm just trying to. I'm trying to like shape the English language in my own way so I can actually speak it.
Yeah. Fuck, English is my like 5th language that I know. It's not my fucking first even or second. Let me translate my own language into English. I'm trying to find the vocabulary that I can use the best to translate my thoughts into it. But yeah, it's when it comes to YouTube and their demonetization, it's just they want to be kids and family friendly, but they are got YouTube Kids. This normal YouTube should be for fucking adults. Jesus fucking Christ.
I think they should just make like I was about to say a separate app for YouTube adults, but then I fear I'd be lumped in there and I'd never make any money off my channel. No, there needs to be a stronger distinction between YouTube Kids and the main YouTube platform.
Yeah.
See, they used to have a thing.
Right.
We used to have a thing in telly on TV back in the day, where after a certain time in the day you could have more adult content play and not have to worry about it. So it was like after 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, the watershed as they call it, where you can have more adult shows play. If there was some way to like implement that into YouTube, or maybe just kind of go, okay, anybody who claims that they're over the age of 16 can watch anything, and we're just going to take that on face value. And if somebody sees something that that's not appropriate for their age, then it's on the person who created the account or the person who supervises them to fucking dictate what they should or shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way they should have gone with. They wouldn't have actually lost that many fucking shit as well. they wouldn't have been in so much deep shit. Because there's a lot of creators just keeps on fucking shitting on YouTube at this moment.
Yeah, well, the whole thing, it all started back at the fucking adpocalypse thing.
Yeah,
The thing that bothered me most about the adpocalypse is when YouTube bent to the pressures of advertisers and started like cracking down on everybody's content. I remember thinking, even at the time, like, why is YouTube bending to advertisers? Where else are they going to go in this fucking ever-modernizing online world?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to advertise something nowadays, like, you know, online, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these are the places you go to advertise.
Hell, even Snapchat.
Yeah, and like people, like Coca-Cola is not going to suddenly stop advertising on YouTube, because, you know, people got up in arms and got a bit mad. They'll do it like for a week or two, and then they'll come back later when everything dies down. You know, this is just how it works. It's all theatre.
Yeah.
It's just like, imagine owning a monopoly on online videos and being afraid that people are not going to give you money to advertise. It's like,
yeah, it's so
you literally have the internet by the balls. Why are you fearing any pressure from anybody?
Yeah, you just quit the fucking bullshit. I'm so looking forward to someone in the future to make a new platform, a bit more free one.
It's going to be difficult to do because fucking YouTube being attached to Google, you know, Google sending you right there. Every Android phone is powered by Google. It's just going to be like, unless like a big company like, you know, Apple or something like that actually manages to create some competition in this space.
We're gonna have to pay a fucking $1 for a minute of a video that if you want to watch, if Apple has it.
Yeah, they'll charge more. Yeah, they'll take a bigger cut as well because.
Oh, you wanna subscribe to that? That's gonna cost you $4.99.
Yeah. Apple will be there, like, you know, talking to the creators, going, right, we're doing a 90-10 split, and everybody will be like, yeah, great, and like, right, we're taking 90%. We'll give you what's left. Oh.
Yeah, that's Apple. Yeah, I can see that. The worst part is I actually can see them doing that. Fucking hell.
There is a few alternatives already out there, but like they all run weirdly. So there's like that Odyssey one, but that kind of runs on like a cryptocurrency rather than actual like advertising and paid and stuff like that. And see, the problem is once you introduce companies into it and companies feel like they have any kind of power, they're going to ruin it one way or another.
Yeah. So, Ducky, if you could like describe yourself in one word, what word would that be? Because I would love to know. Like that's a question that's gonna make the cogs in your head start running.
Yeah. Like, I suppose the obvious one would be Irish.
Are you that Irish though?
Well, I certainly am Irish, so that would describe me.
Yeah, I know, but are you that Irish, like those Irishes?
No, I'm kind of modern Irish, you know, contemporary Irish, just
new
age Irish. Yeah, people don't understand how Irish I am, but I'm just new Irish, like new metal, just a new version. One word. Easy going. Is that 2 words?
2 words. Easy going.
Yeah. Well, 1 word is a really difficult one to get around.
You could just say easy.
I could say absolutely, and just 1 word that describes me is absolutely, and I'm just limited by the concept. So you can fill in your own. You put in your own word there.
Absolutely unstable.
Yeah, that would be a fair description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute fanny magnet.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, insightful, spiritual.
Oh, that's a good one to go with.
Spherical, too. Spherical is a good one.
Oh, we're going back to the balls then.
Yeah, this is just, it's getting a bit too highbrow there. Let's bring it back down.
Yeah. And another thing is interesting is, what's your biggest pet peeves? Except the ones that you have actually told publicly, but the ones that you haven't told publicly, though. Do you have any pet peeves that you're extremely haven't said that to anyone?
I do, yeah. I tend to make lists, so when I do videos, I kind of have stuff to go back on. I'm like, oh wait, no, that thing, yeah. So there's like 2 that come off the top of my head, and it's only because we were driving the other day, and they're still fresh in my mind. One is when you're using a sat nav, and it keeps telling you the name of the road that you're turning onto, even though that's irrelevant to your directions. Like, I don't know if you get this like in Norway and stuff like that, but you'll have like Google Maps saying, turn left on the N52 or 600, then turn right. And you're like, well, listen, all that you just said was pointless after turn left. Like, none of that helped at all.
Yeah.
And so that's one big pet peeve. But staying on the topic, because I'm consistent like that, of sat-navs, is when you first set it and it goes, head west. What the fuck am I going? Hold on there, break up me fucking compass and look west. What the fuck kind of... What do I look like, a fucking sailor? Am I going to start looking for the North Star? And I go like, which way is west now? Fuck's sake. How is that information useful in this modern age? Like, I imagine like a sailor lost at sea just opening up Google Maps and saying, head north. And you're like, oh! Like, that's the only person that would find use of that. Somebody just lost at sea in a rubber dinghy. He's like, I just don't know which way.
Or you're in the fucking middle of the woods. That's all I can think of. Not more than that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just these things, like, maybe it's just AI and artificial intelligence is moving to the point where they're starting to do human things, like, you know, fill in awkward silences with nonsensical bullshit until something good comes to mind.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking AIs, they're using AIs to draw fucking not safe for work content.
Oh, that's where it's all good. Everything is going to go back to porn. Sure, they found out ways to put people's faces on other actors, you know, and then they just immediately started using that for porn. Deep face.
They put me in a fucking deep face as well. They put me in as a fucking Hulk.
Yeah, it's like every bit of advancing technology will somehow be used for porn one way or another.
Yeah. Fuck, I think another video they put me in, it was in Nicki Minaj's Anaconda. So there's just my face in there. I'm like, fuck's sake, I hate that. I don't like that. That's bullshit. Delete that, nuke it. Burn it with flames.
Just quote the late Sean Locke. That's a challenging wank.
Oh, speaking of fucking... You know when you find a good video on the hub?
Yeah.
And then you just see a fucking ass get absolutely railed, and you're like, oh yeah. And then the camera pulls out, and there's a male ass. And then you already are about to finish.
I think that's the story I told you once upon a time about one of my mates who was telling me about watching a video, and he was very much enjoying it. And he was like admiring the close-up of this girl's arse, and he's like, oh my god, she's gorgeous, she's a great arse, oh my god, like he was getting really into it. And then at the point of he crossed the finish line, the camera pulled back, and it was just a pair of male genitalia dangling down. turned out to be a trans person, and he's like, he couldn't stop it at that point. You know, he had popped the cork of champagne, so he was like, no.
The bubbles were already out. The bubbles were on their way.
No.
Yeah, this is the story you told me.
Yeah.
So I just had the fucking idea to just remembered it.
Yeah. No, the most heartbreaking thing on the hub or anything else online is when you find a good video, and then you have to time your life, and then 6 months later you're like, oh, I wonder if I can find that video again. That was really good, and then it's gone. It's never to be found. Yeah. Lost the time. You're like, oh, why didn't I save it? And you're like, it's because it's modern world. Nobody saves porn nowadays. Yeah. Nobody wants to be caught with porn. Nobody wants to drop dead of a brain aneurysm, and everyone was like, oh, he was such a nice guy until we found all that shit in his hard drive. Thought he was a nice guy, but the shit he was into, Jesus Christ.
Another thing that I find really fucking stupid is paying for porn.
Yeah, no, there's no need for that nowadays.
There's no need for anybody to have fucking going to OnlyFans and subscribing to fucking chicks. You don't need to fucking pay for porn. Porn is free.
Oh, look, I won't bash OnlyFans itself too much, because, you know, I respect the hustle, you know.
Yeah. When you want a good one, when you want a really fucking good one, quality, then it's okay to pay for.
Yeah, well, I'm not even saying the paying for a bit. I'm talking about the women just fucking exploiting our fucking base desires and doing it so well. I absolutely applaud the hustle. Yeah, fucking power to you girls. But the concept I don't get is from the men's side of it. It's just like, lads, you're paying essentially what would be like a subscription to like Netflix or something like that to see one girl.
Oh, even Netflix is cheaper than that.
Yeah, just one girl.
Some of them have like...
I just can't understand it. Like, and let's be fair, there's probably not a man out there that hasn't immediately thought after finishing a cheeky handy shandy, why am I paying for this? Like the moment of clarity sinks in, you know, the actual adult in you comes to life for about 10 minutes after you complete the job, we'll say. And he starts talking,
What am I doing
he starts
with my
making
life?
a lot of sense. He's like, why are you paying money for this? You could just spend that money on other shit. Like, you don't need to be doing this. And then you got the shame and you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, no, you're right. I need to get my life back on track.
Another one is when the after doing the cheeky there's this, the Lord Savior comes in like, why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, the sweat, the anger, and the shame just creeps in. It is what us fellas call a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
When you see the world for what it is. I often thought, like, you know, after I've scratched the itch, if you call it. I'm very creative with how I avoid actually saying it. After I scratch the itch, I often think, is this how women feel all the time? You know, they don't have the same want and desire.
No. When it comes to women after doing the cheeky, it's just, oh, fucking do it again. It was worth it.
Yeah, more often than not, they're not into it until it's actually happening. You know, that kind of way. You have to convince them into it, and then once you kind of get the ball rolling, they're like, ah, yeah, this is great crack. You know. Oh, yeah. But before it, you know, I don't know what comedian said it, but like he said, women don't understand what it's like to actually be horny.
Speaking of, I just remembered there was once a woman that decides to become a man for a year, dress up as a man, cross-dress, and after she finished with the experience, she was like absolutely fucking horrid because of how women treat men. Have you seen that?
Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah.
And
she couldn't take all the abuse.
Yeah, but then you're realistically like, I don't think a trans man will be treated with the same level of disrespect, I suppose, as a regular man. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like everybody's going to have it in the back of their head. It's like, okay, this person is like biologically a woman, so they have that kind of. You can't just switch off your kind of approach in how you deal with people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I was to work with like a trans person who was like trans man or trans woman, I'm still going to be subconsciously behaving around them as if I would, like, you know, if they were biological sex. So if I was like a trans man, we'll say, originally born a woman, I'm going to be talking to them with a little softer of a tone and a bit more, you know, I wouldn't be going up and punching them in the shoulder going, hey, yeah, fucker, yeah. Like, you know, I'd be joshing like a man. Yeah.
Although I'm guessing they're not expecting that as well, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We once were at a house party, myself and the boys and all that, and there was this girl there. And I was asking the lads, I was like, oh, what's the story with this girl? And they're like, she's just one of the lads there. She often comes drinking. She's great crack and all that. And I was like, perfect. How is she with like jokes and stuff? And they're like, yeah, she can take the abuse with the boys. All right, perfect. So we're all like pre-drinking and all that. And we're all just slagging the fucking shit out of each other. You know, as you do, fucking just winding each other up and stuff like that. But after a
bit of romance with the boys.
Yeah, just you know, calling each other all sorts of names and just having a bit of fun, attacking each other's insecurities and whatnot. You know, as you do as fellas, just for a laugh. Nothing mean-spirited, like, you know, just get everybody laughing. But after about 20-25 minutes, it was coming really obvious that she wasn't able to just brush these comments off like the rest of us were. You know, one of the boys insulted me. It's like, oh yeah, you dress like a woman. I'm just like, you know, I'll fire one back. You know, it's just like, you should know this just over and back, just like a game of tennis, just slapping the insults over and back. But she wasn't hitting them back. She was getting hit in the head with them. Like, she was really bad. Like, and I got to the point that, like, towards the end of the night, one of the boys comes over and is like, look, I'm after talking to her. She's like, she's getting really upset with the insults and all that being thrown around. And I'm just like, look, don't treat you like one of the boys if you can't actually be treated like one of the boys. I wouldn't mind. We welcomed her in. We're all having a laugh. Nothing was mean-spirited, but she just could not take the remarks. Like, everything she was saying, somebody had to come back for her. You know, she just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, I have a female friend. She can come with comebacks. She kind of, the comeback she comes with is deeply hurtful. So instead of she feeling it, it's more like you will feel it. Because she grew up with her father. And her father taught her how to fucking talk to the boys. So she can take the fucking jokes on the crack quite well. There are some women out there that can do it really fucking well.
Oh, yeah,
way too fucking well.
There's only one. Yeah, like they're a rare breed, though. I will say that. There's only one girl I ever knew that really was treated like one of the boys and fit right in. But she was a lesbian, so she kind of had an advantage there.
Yeah.
We all just sat around and gave out about women.
Yeah.
We were like, fucking women, and she's like, I know, right? Fuck's sake.
Well, Ducky, if there was a book, what would the title of the book be if your worst enemy wrote it?
If my worst enemy wrote it, what would be the title of the book? So am I titling it from his perspective, or what would I like it to be called?
From his perspective.
Damn. I don't really have any enemies. I've had them all killed. It's amazing how cheap a hitman is once you come into money. Oh,
that reminds me of the fucking... You've seen the news on a Chinese man hiring a hitman. And the hitman hired another hitman. And that hitman hired another hitman. And that hitman hired another hitman. And that hitman went and the fucking ratted on the fucking guy that was about to be killed.
Fuck's sake. There's a similar story I heard of a woman. She wanted to off her husband to get like his money or whatever reason she wanted to kill him. So she hired a hitman, and it was about a week later, or she met with the hitman, discussed what she wanted to do, what she wanted done, and all that. That was grand. About a week later, she gets a phone call. Yeah, your husband has been killed. We need you to come into the station and talk to us about it. See what could have happened. So she goes down to the police station, and the interviewer are like, do you have any idea? Did he have any enemies? All this kind of stuff. And she's like, no, nothing that I know of. It's just complete shock to me. Grand. So they're like, hold on, hang on a second. And the detective stands up and walks over, opens the door, and her husband is standing right there at the door. It turned out the hitman she had hired was an undercover cop, and they had faked the husband's execution just so she'd incriminate herself further, and actually they'll have a strong case against her.
Bruv.
Yeah, and you know what's the most unsatisfying thing about that story?
Yeah.
He dropped the charges.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, what a fucking moron. Like, what does somebody need to do to you? Like, I know it's all about, forgive and forget and all that, like, strong Christian values. But when somebody's trying to have you fucking killed, I think you gotta draw a line there, like.
Yeah, at that point, I will fucking not drop the charges. I will fucking take them all the way to high court if possible.
How funny would it be if he dropped the charges and then, like, after a while he got a phone call saying, oh, hey, your wife is dead. And then he went in and got interviewed, and then it turned out he had hired another undercover hitman. It's just this fucking cycle that keeps continuing.
Yeah, that would have been hella funny. Shit. That would have been a good movie to watch. Oh yeah, reminds me of another fucking story. I think it's more of a joke. There was a fella, and his wife was cheating on him. So he hires a hitman. For $10,000 to kill the wife, and another $10,000 to shoot the guy, kill the other guy. So basically $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets a call from the hitman and says, right now they're outside of the motel. I can kill both of them. I can kill them both real fast. And he says like, yes, do it. I will pay you $20,000. And then the hitman waits. He calls back the fucking the guy and says, you know what about that extra 10,000? You don't need to hold it, because I think I can do it only for 10,000.
Mm.
So he shoots the bullet, kills the wife, shoots the guy in the dick.
Oh, it took me a second. So yeah, she was shot in the head and cut your man in the dick.
Yeah, I probably told the joke wrong as well, but yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, back to the question. What will the title be?
The man my girlfriend admired.
No, I think that's too nice.
The man with the perfectly spherical balls.
No. I highly doubt that any of your enemies will say that.
I'd like to be honest, I'd say anybody I would ever consider an enemy. Enemy is like a strong word. I'm sure people just like, I don't like that guy, and then they just move on with their life. But I'd imagine it would be something like along the lines of, oh shit, it worked. Because like back when I first started doing YouTube and like doing short films and all that, I obviously got an awful lot of weird looks in people that I wasn't overly friendly with, and anytime it was ever brought up, they're like, oh, you're doing that. It's fucking strange. Like, it was really kind of condescending, like, what are you, a child? You know,
talking down to you.
Yeah, oh, you're going to play video games on the internet or something, is it? Like, you know, this fucking, you know, no faith, which is fair enough, because so many people say that to you nowadays, where just like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, and they've one video and, you know, 2 subscribers, and you're like, okay, listen, you're doing YouTube, you're not a YouTuber, you're a while away from that yet. So it's fair enough, but then, you know, when I bump into them a few years later, and they're like, oh, how's that thing going for you? And I was like, oh, it's actually my full-time job, it paid off really well, like, I'm quite happy in life and everything, and it's always kind of the same reaction where it's like, oh shit, really? Like, yeah, I did. There you go. So yeah, maybe that's probably the closest thing I'd have to an enemy, is just people dismissing me too early in my chosen career. Yeah,
I can understand that, because a lot of my family members are just looking down on me right now. I was telling my dad I was going to do a podcast. I was like, fuck's sake, go do something better.
Well, so that's the thing, everybody's a skeptic until it works. Like, you know, you're just considered you're considered strange until it pays off.
Yeah. That's when they fucking pile up on you.
Yeah. It's like way back in the day, my mother used to give me shit. She's like, back when I was out of a job for like about 6 months when I got back from college. She's like, you're just sitting on that fucking computer all day, but you should be out there looking for a job. And then one day I came back into the house and I was like, I got a job. And she's like, where the fuck did you get a job? I was like, on the internet, I found a job listing. And then I went for an interview. It's like, yeah, you just don't understand how shit works nowadays, man.
Yeah. Another thing is, speaking of that, is my dad wants me to pack away my computer and stop using it. I'm like, I don't think you understand how much shit that I do on the computer. How much shit that, like, the bills and all that shit that I do on the computer is connected to this fucking PC. So if you want me to pack it away, I'm gonna take away a lot of my fucking advantages away from myself.
Yeah, it's just like.
So are you fucking sure that you want me to fucking do that?
I want you to pack up your computer and be like, yeah, hold on there, and I'll just hop into my time machine and go back to when I wasn't an adult and that actually mattered what you said.
Yeah. Because when it comes to the older generation, they don't understand the importance of a fucking computer.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah. Although to be said, there's just probably an argument to be made that too much of it is not great for the brain development and what have you.
Yeah.
Because I find myself like thinking that a lot lately, where I'm just like, I go down a rabbit hole of watching dumb videos that I don't even retain in memory, and I'm just like, this is not good for me. Like, if I actually just turned off my PC for a couple of hours a day and not even went out and touched grass, but just sat there in my own thoughts for a bit, allowed myself to become bored, because I think that's not something I've truly experienced in a very long time, and I don't think that's actually good for you, not allowing yourself to be bored. Like, I think like the reason why you always come up with like great ideas when you're in the shower or having a shite, or when you're lying in bed waiting to fall asleep, I think they're like your best ideas come to you at that point, because you're not plugged in and you're not processing a constant stream of information. You're kind of sitting with your own thoughts, and you're able to formulate your own ideas a lot easier, and you kind of forget that you're kind of depriving yourself of that when you're just constantly staring at a screen.
Yeah, man, I agree with that. Definitely is a way to say it, because when you're sitting on a PC, as you said, they do take away a lot of the processing power of your brain. So you focus on other stuff. Yeah.
Like one thing I do on occasion, or at least I try to do it on occasion, is when I have nothing planned for an evening, I'll put in my headphones, throw on Spotify, and just stare at the ceiling and just allow my mind to wander. Like, you know, I know I'm still getting information, but you know, music kind of helps your mind kind of wander off. And
certainly when there's music without any lyrics.
Yeah, well, sure. Even if there's a song you just know really well, you kind of tend to just push it to the background anyway. But Or, you know, you start like imagining scenarios in your head that actually go along with the music.
yeah.
So if it's a real thumping beat, you're just like, oh, imagine I was walking down the road with a baseball bat just looking for my enemy. Like, you know, and it's got this dramatic music behind it, and you start formulating an entire movie in your mind of like, what if I was a badass?
Yeah. Whenever I listen to music that are like rock and roll, I just think of myself as a private soldier.
A private soldier, or like in a mercenary group.
With my own, in a mercenary group, my own private soldier company, my own PMC.
You're fucking...
Like, oh yeah.
Be the old Diamond Dogs there.
Yeah.
What I do, like, if it's a really good, like, fucking rock song or stuff like that, I just imagine, like, when I hear the guitar solo, I just imagine myself as somebody being able to just to imagine myself being able to play that, and just like, what would be the best situation you could just whip out that talent? It's like, because I listen to a lot of, like, piano music and stuff like that as well. And I'd often just wonder, like, how funny would it be just to walk into a hotel and, you know, you're booking in to get into your room, and then you just spot up the piano in the hall, the main hall, and you just go over and sit down and just like play a fucking beautiful melody out of nowhere.
Start playing fucking Mozart.
Yeah. Like, you know, and in the scenario in my head, my missus wouldn't even know that I knew how to play the piano, even though we're together 10 years. Like, this would blow her off her feet. Like,
yeah. Well, if in 150 years science fails to save us and all that left is a book about your life, what will the title be, and what will the back of the book, the summary, tell us about you?
The title of my book, I suppose Bad Choices and Banter. Wouldn't be a bad title if I was to pluck one from the top of my head. Yeah. And I think it would be just if I wrote a book, it would just be a collection of stories like my videos, but just transcribed into proper fleshed out.
I'm guessing you already have enough script to make it into a book.
To be honest, I think I have enough videos to make 3 or 4 feature-length movies. You know, I read, like, if each video is like on average 7 or 8 minutes long, and I've over 100 of them. I don't know. You did the math. You worked that out.
What do you mean? I worked that out. I suck at math. I almost failed.
I did. Well, it's at least one movie.
Definitely.
Yeah. At least a short film.
Yeah. I mean, it'll reach an hour at least long with all your videos.
Yeah, it'd either be like short stories of like comedy stories of my life, and kind of transcribed videos, or it might be just something that I'd know, something different, maybe just what it's like behind the scenes of actually like making videos, and the idea of being a creative and stuff like that. That could be interesting to kind of flesh out more in a book as well. But see, the problem with that is it'll be a very niche book.
Yeah. I wonder how long we've been going. Oh my fucking god, it's already been an hour. Time flies back.
Yeah, it really does.
Is there anything you want to talk about that you think should be important?
Do you have a specific topic in mind?
Yes, I do. Specifically, will be advice on how to continue for this. What I want is advice for the younger generation. Is when they come out of school, specifically high school, and at the age of like 17, 16, 18. What is the advice you will have for them?
I suppose the best advice I could give anybody at that age is don't worry if you don't know what you want to do now. Eventually, you know, when you're out of school, eventually you'll start working or hanging out with friends and all that kind of stuff. And what you want to do, you know, will slowly come to you over time. But even at that, I wouldn't be so hung up on it, because it's very easy to get bored of what you're doing and want to move on to something else. So you may go through your life and have 7, 8 different major careers. You know, the interest and attention and willpower and all that, it's all finite. I'm sure, like, I'll very much get sick of YouTube after a couple of years and want to do something else. So yeah, just be ready to adapt and pivot and chase things that are weird as well, because too many people go down conventional career paths, and it's an ever increasing online world. So embrace the new weird job and don't care what anybody else thinks about it.
Yeah, that's a good advice. And that's a really good advice that you guys heard from the one and only SgtDucky. Keep that to your heart, and I hope to see more of you people in the next episode.
All right, take care, lads. Thanks for having me.